Yes, 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 people. I hope you can hear me. Please let me know if you can't. I've been trying to work this out with this new headsets and microphones as well. So please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that subscription button, notification button, like button, and all that good stuff. And follow us on our social media as well, which is Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I've got an actual Twitter account, which is my personal account, which is 4079. That one is always busy, so please go to that one and follow me on that one as well. I advertise a lot of stuff on there. Yeah, so I'm going to be speaking about the Premier League today and the top five. It's become like top five, top four to top five because Liverpool are back in the race for top four, and you've got Brighton, who's got a few games in hand as well. On the Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. Honestly, it's going to be an interesting season. But I want to start from the top, then work my way to the bottom five. Sorry, you could say five, yeah, because yeah, we could work our way to Liverpool and Brighton after that as well. So yeah, we're gonna have to like take it step by step. But I want to start with Arsenal and Man City. The way this title race is going, is it as good as the previous title races when Liverpool and Man City was like going head to head? Maybe I don't know. I can't really, um, give Arsenal that much of criticism because at least they are in the Premier League challenging as many of us aren't, if you know what I mean. A lot of people are saying this has been a bad season because of Man City dominating majority of the season. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to discredit Arsenal. I think they've done an outstanding job. Someone had to challenge Man City. Other than Liverpool, because it would take Liverpool a while for for them to get to back in the right title race. It was always going to happen, no matter what we do. Um, but yeah, listen, I commend Arsenal for what they've done. I think they've been outstanding all season. They've been top of the league all season. And if they don't win the league this season, I think they've been one of the best teams in Europe still. So just don't discredit Arsenal's contribution to the league as well. Because if Arsenal wasn't up there, the league would be just horrible, absolutely horrible. So let's look at the league and see what's going on in that top five, top six, as you call it, and we could discuss along the way what you think about it as well, and I'll put my contribution on it. Yeah, let's do that. So you can see Liverpool is at the bottom of the top five. Tottenham are way behind, and you see Brighton. Look at that. They only played 32 games. Obviously, they've been in the cups as well. That's why they're further down, 55 points. They could still catch up the top four as well. So yeah, I want to start with obviously these two here, the top two. I think they've been breath of fresh air for the league. If there was no competition, we'll be like La Liga, we'll be like Bundesliga, we'll be those kind of competitions. Although Bundesliga has been competitive this season, it hasn't been like one team dominating it. It was back and forth uh, between Bayern Munich and Dortmund. So it's an interesting league now in Germany. I agree. But I've always said that the Premier League is the best league in the world. But the only thing that's making the Premier League less interesting is, the the competition side of it nowadays. It's always like two teams competing on a regular basis. It would be great if it was three or four teams that's competing for it. Then it would be more interesting for people to watch it on a regular basis as well. Yeah. So let's look at Manchester City. Obviously, their players, their squad compared to Arsenal. Why is Arsenal falling short compared to Man City's performances recently as well? You look at Man City squad. Let's just be honest there. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. The money they spent in the last few seasons on this squad is nothing but remarkable. And it for a team that used to like get relegated a lot and wasn't competitive for a long, long, long time. I think they've turned it around and become a force in the world of football now. Yes, they've got Pep Guardiola, one of the best managers in the world. Um, with Pep Guardiola, the thing with him is he works with big teams. You know what I mean, there's only like a few managers that can do that and get the performances out. And this is the longest he's ever stayed in a club as well, people. If you don't know that, this is the longest he stayed. He normally has a project and he just moves on to the next project. Now, like because of the Premier League and the way it is, the way people are behind the Premier League, and it's advertised around the world. We've got all the best players in the world. We've got all the sponsors and all that stuff. All the money is coming towards the Premier League. It's like a Super League. Let's be honest, there. That's what it is, and it shows. It's more competitive than other leagues as well. So you look at Man City's squad. Obviously, Scott Carson is older and all that stuff, but that's a homegrown thing in it. At the end of the day, this is what they got on the in the team, and they got Stefan as a second goalkeeper. Like what I've seen of Man City, they keep chopping and changing goalkeepers. They don't have the same second goalkeepers. If you look at season in season out, it's always a different person. Look at last season; it was the American goalkeeper that made a mistake against Mane in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. So it shows they keep changing it every season. You look at their defense. I looked at this the other day, and I kept on thinking to myself, how does Man City do it, like in every game? Because they interchange. They don't have the same defense game in and game out. I haven't seen Carl Walker all season. I haven't seen I haven't seen Diaz all season. I've seen John Stones majority of the season because he's always injured in other seasons. So this season is the most consistent he's been, and he's played a lot of games, as everyone can see. Carl Walker, from what I've seen in previous seasons, if Liverpool were challenging, he plays in all the big games. Now you see he doesn't play in the big games, and young Rico Lewis plays now, and they're bringing him on probably to take Carl Walker's place eventually. I don't know if they're going to do that because they need that pace at the back that's going to cover the centre backs as well in the future. So it's going to be interesting how they go on about that in the near future as well. And then you got Ake at the back, and you got Laporte as well. See, you look at the strength and depth of Man City. It's from top to bottom. You look at Arsenal. We look at Arsenal later on, and you see the deficiency of the Arsenal's squad, which is why they're probably not in the top, of the league. And Man City are top of there with the game in hand as well. So yeah, you look at Ake, player of the season for them, most probably. He's improved a lot. This guy used to play for the likes of Watford and Bournemouth, loaned out by Chelsea on a regular basis. Now look at him, like he's performing in every game he plays. And I thought he's the best player they've had this season. He plays left back, he plays centre back, he plays inverted left back as well. So he's an all rounder. This is the kind of players Klopp normally has, if you know what I mean, people. And yeah, it's impressive. I really, really, I'm really impressed with him this season compared to previous seasons when he used to like be in and out of the team. Laporte hasn't played much this season. That's what I'm saying to you people. If you look at the performances of these players, not all of them play. Not all of them play, and they've had time to rest players and then bring them on. And now look at the season; it's near the end. They're almost in the Champions League final. They've almost won the league. They're in the FA Cup final. They almost won the League Cup final as well. So it shows what he's doing, Pep Guardiola, to the team. It's like gradually, getting the performances to a higher level. But even the players that don't play, they've come to the team recently and played in a higher level as well. It's scary because would they do this if Liverpool were challenging and Liverpool was in their pomp? I don't think so. I don't think so. You don't sell the likes of Jesus, Sterling, and Zinchenko to your rivals if you're not confident. If you know what I mean? That's how they are. They are very, very confident. And I'm impressed with this kid, Rico Lewis, man. I thought like this season, the way he came on, and the way he performs, they've got nothing to worry about in that right back position in the future as well. Laporte is coming to the tail end of his career, but he's been one of the best defenders in the Premier League for years, I think, as well. Although he doesn't play a lot this season, Um, he's in and out the team. Like I said, they're integrating the other players who's going to take over eventually, and it's a frightening prospect in the future as well. It's crazy, it's crazy. So let's go down. Look at Manu Akanji has come on. Um, in the past, a lot of teams were chasing this kid from Dortmund. I think he played it for Basel, and I remember Liverpool were interested in him. And I thought this kid's going to be a great defender, and he'd be a great addition to Liverpool's squad. But he's gone to Man City from Dortmund, and this is what angers me about Dortmund as well. Like, if Klopp is the person that put them back in the map, worked hard and got them there, why isn't he going down there and buying players? I don't want to talk about Liverpool in general, but that's why I don't understand. Why is Dortmund selling to Man City, our rivals, when their hero is the manager of Liverpool Football Club? It's strange. It's strange. Why doesn't he go and buy those guys? You can't be loyal all the time. You can't be nice guy all the time. Nice guys finish last. I've always said that. Nice guys finish last, and if you look at Man City, they're ruthless on and off the pitch, very, very ruthless, and this is why they are successful. Although you see their players, they're not world class players when they come to City. They're not world class. They're all right. They spend a lot of money on them, but they're not world class players. There you go. You look at Ilkay Gundogan as well, another Dortmund player. What is he doing at Man City? He should be, with us, but it's not happening for some reason. Klopp doesn't go for Dortmund players. Yeah, so yeah, Ilkay Gundogan. A lot of people are saying this is his last season, and he was say goodbye with the Champions League and the Premier League. Maybe it is his last season, and a lot of takers are going to be that there. A lot of takers, suitors for him. An outstanding player. I think he's been fit throughout the season as well. Normally he doesn't stay fit that long, if you know what I mean about Ilkay Gundogan. He's always in and out, and he's been the captain this season as well, from what I've saw. Yeah, I've always liked Ilkay Gundogan, like the way he plays in that midfield. I remember him at Dortmund. I think he was a defensive midfielder, converted to a central midfielder, and he could play as a number 10 as well. So he's a technically gifted player. He could do all. He could pass the ball. He could score goals. He could take free kicks, and he's an all-round player. He's an all-round player. Yeah, that's a typical club player, isn't it? Oh, no pun intended. And then you got Jack Grealish. I thought he was improved this season. Jack Grealish. I thought he's been outstanding. I thought like what he produced last season compared to this season is amazing. The way they worked his game to fit the system of Man City, out of this world, out of this world. Sometimes like it's the English tax in it. It's the English tax we go on like, oh, he's an English player, he's not good enough, blah 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 and all that stuff. Forget the English side. Just think about the player, how he's progressing in the team, and look at him now. He's amazing, amazing at City. Sorry, let me go to the comments. I can see there's a few on there. Please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm going to be doing this a lot, talking about the Premier League and everything else in general as well. So please do that for us. Oh, Liam, thanks for coming on, bro. It says daily stuff is pretty impressive, lad. Keep it going, and I hope you get to where you want to get to. You never walk alone. Oh, I appreciate that. Oh my goodness, that's a wicked message. Thank you, thank you. I'm trying my best in it. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm trying my best, and let's hope we get to the destination eventually. Yeah. Janet says, "Good luck, Fuzzy." Thank you, Fuzz. Yeah, thank you, thank you. John Conway, thank you again. Big up, Fuzzy. Thank you, Brian. Hello, she says. Liam and John. Hi, Janet. The wife. Yes, Fuzzy. Yes, yes, yes. Aziz, big up, Fuzzy. Much appreciated for coming on, man. LFC can catch up with top four, but have to hope Newcastle, Brighton, United all drop points in the remaining games. It's looking impressive so far, but we'll talk about it later. Hi, it's been from John. John, yeah, how are you, man? Yes, 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 good old. Yes, keep it busy. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking for. I don't ask for much. Just keep the chats busy. Yeah. So as you can see, let me take that comment down. As you can see in the Premier League, it's not bad, is it? This squad, this team from Manchester City is always gonna win no matter what we do, people. Um, they've got there by any means necessary. They've been the yo-yo club of the Premier League for years, and now like they've hit the riches. It shows, isn't it? It clearly shows. You see Newcastle as well. Like when you invest money and then you pay the players, to their capability, the world's your oyster, man. You jump that league anytime, any day, anywhere. And then you look at these players, Rodri, the Kevin De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. You look at these three players, like I looked at the Premier League this season. I don't think they played a lot of games. I honestly don't think they played a lot of games. Although it says 33, 30, and 32, I'm talking about as a whole. They have been rested throughout the season, and Rodri obviously is the consistent one that's always on in the team. He is their defensive midfielder. He is their enforcer. And if him like if he's not in that midfield, you could see there's a big miss. That's why Calvin Phillips hasn't really come into the team and done his bit. Because Calvin Phillips is a defensive midfielder. He's a controller. He's a destroyer. But maybe this is a step too far from him for him, or maybe they're waiting until next season. Then they could integrate into the team because they need that, English tax in the team as well. Yeah, but Rodri, at first when I saw him, I thought he was a bit too slow, bit too, you know, not the type of Manchester City player. If you look at Fernandinho before him, that's what I thought. Because he come from Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone, defensive, destroyers, and that's it. There's no other abilities on top of that as well. But he's been outstanding. He's been outstanding ever since he's been here. He's improved every season. He has his influences in the team as well. And I'm impressed with Rodri. I'm really impressed, man. I didn't think he'd be this good, but he's done it. He's done it. Kevin De Bruyne is Kevin De Bruyne. A lot of people don't give him credit that he deserves. I think he's an outstanding player. I think he's one of the best midfielders in Premier League history. I've got no doubt he can get into the top 11 of in the Premier League history as well. The way he's been performing, although in international football he doesn't do much, because he's got stars there. He's got stars like Hazard and all these other players. He always plays second fiddle to them. But in the Premier League, wow, 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 wow. Those powerful runs, those shots, those through passes, those crosses. He's got an all-round ability like nobody else. It reminds me of like a Steven Gerrard and players like that. It's amazing. It's amazing. Although he's coming to the tail end of his career now, they need to look for the second coming. I thought like someone like Bellingham would have been good for them, to replace him eventually, but it looks like he's going to Real Madrid. They need to find someone similar, in my opinion. Because without that type of player in that midfield, they don't function well with Man City. If you know what I mean, guys. They need that type of midfielder in their team in order for them to open up teams in the future. But we don't know. We don't know about Pep Guardiola. He could be just here for now. If he wins the Champions League and the Premier League at the end of the season, he could be just going. You know what I mean? He could be going to the next project that he always had before. At the end of the day, he's been here to win the Champions League. He's not here to win the Premier League. They've been winning the Premier League with the likes of Pellegrini and Mancini as well. So I don't expect Pep Guardiola to remain here any longer. I think it's the next project after that. It's just Liverpool and the club have motivated him to stay. Because if he left last season or when his contract ended, they would have said Klopp broke him. You know what I mean? This kind of wordings go around for some reason. Klopp broke him. And I know I'll move on to Bernardo Silva. I hate that guy. I hate him with passion. But he's a little terrier, man. Although we hate him, he gives you that he gives you that smile at the end of it as well because of his quality. He's brilliant, man. I gotta be real. I remember when we won the league and then he came out with his pajamas onto the pitch, right, and his long jacket, Man City jacket, and his cup of tea in his hand, not paying any respect to us. I don't care about things like that. I like that. I wish every Liverpool player was like that. But yeah, unfortunately, he plays for Man City. He's a quality man. I gotta be real. Technically, physically, although he's low center of gravity, he is amazing. This kid, Bernardo Silva, I wouldn't mess with him, man. He's just out of this world as a player, man. And I wish someone like that would have played in my team. Maybe would be better at holding up the ball and all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, although he wanted to go to Barcelona, from what I've heard, I think he contributed very very well this season, and could be his last season at Man City, man. Look at the team, people. Like I'm talking about the team. It's just you go down and there's some more. You look at Phil Foden. He hasn't played much this season, but he contributed. You know what I mean? So uh, this kid's gonna be a phenomenal player in the future. He just needs to put on a little bit muscles, and just his physique is very very thin. So he needs to be a physical specimen in order for him, to keep a place in the team in the future as well. He's technically gifted. He's great dribbler with the ball. He doesn't feel sorry for anyone. If he wants to take a shot, he'll take a shot. If Haaland's free at the back post and he needs it like a cross to him just to tap it in, he'll take a shot. He doesn't give a damn. It's all about his kind of It's his performance or nothing else or nothing less. That's how it is with Phil Foden. I like that selfishness from players, but I like that technical ability with the finesse at the end of it as well. So next time you should like pass the ball to the far post so someone can tap it in. Cole Palmer, I thought he's done all right this season. That's what I said about Man City this season. They have integrated players. They didn't force players to come into their team. Gradually, like in and out. That's what they've done with these youngsters. And I think this is the only season they've ever done that. I've never seen them do that when Liverpool's challenging them for the league title. This is the only season I've seen them do that. Yeah, I think this kid's going to be a great player in the future. Is he going to be Man City on a regular basis? I don't know. They might loan him out eventually, and then just get some experience elsewhere, and then probably come back and try it at the first team. They do get opportunities. They have to get opportunities, Man City youngsters, especially English players as well. If they don't get that, the English tax and all that stuff, homegrown will affect them immensely in the future as well. Like, I talked about Calvin Phillips earlier. I said like he hasn't really done anything. Look, 8 games this season. It's not good enough for a player that's international as well, like plays for England on a regular basis with Declan Rice in the midfield as well. Um, I think they do the same thing with Jack Grealish. I don't think he's going to be sold in the summer because, like I said, they're homegrown as well. I think they're just gradually getting him in and out the team so he could understand how Man City play. And then once he understands that gameplay, I think he's going to be a consistent fixture in the first team as well. Probably swapping around with Rodri on a regular basis because he's a defensive midfielder, he's a controller, he's a destroyer, and he has that finesse as well. But yeah, I think people are just jumping the gun too much on Calvin Phillips. They're thinking like he's not good enough. They did the same thing with Jack Grealish, and look what happened. See, now you look at these kids. There's not many like kids in their team, but this is what they got after that in the midfield. Obviously, I can't talk about these kids because they don't play majority. Obviously, this Sergio Gomez played 8 games. Um Ben Knight, nothing. I haven't seen Herrera at all, as you can see. But look below that. Like you got these players up front. That's just amazing. You know what I mean? And in any other team, Julian Alvarez would be the first, like number one striker. But look at him now, like 27 games, 8 goals, not bad. You look at Riyad Mahrez, age of 31, I think now, he's still performing at the highest level. He's still a pest in the opponent halves, like he cutting in from the right hand side and doing the same tricks as he did at Leicester, but in a different team. But people are still falling for it, which makes me laugh when I look at him as well. But he's amazing. He's amazing. I can't discredit what he's done in the Premier League. I think Leicester bought him for not even a million. And now look at him. Like he's won the Premier League at Leicester. He won the Premier League at Man City in a continuous basis as well. And then we move on to the main man, which is Haaland. A lot of people discredit his performances. I don't know why people have a go at him. He's not good enough. Like he just scores goals. People always look for the deficiency of players, but they don't understand the players can improve in the future. They could become even better. The guy has got so much goals that he actually plays football. You know what I mean? More goals than he actually plays football. So he will break a record that had been set in the 20s when football was new soon enough if he continues the way he's going at the moment. That's how good this guy is. It's frightening. It's frightening. Is he going to maintain it next season? I don't know. When people find you out, you're not the same player anymore. Look at Diaz, the defender. After that first season, when he was player of the season, did he do anything after that? He hasn't done anything. So you can see eventually that catches up with you. But yeah, listen, 32 appearances, 35 goals. What is that? Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. More goals than you actually played. You played 32 games and scored 35 goals and 7 assists on top of that as well. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Never, 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 never. I've seen the great Ronaldo, the R9, do some crazy stuff, but he was gifted in all aspects of his game. This kid is just a finisher at the moment. Can you imagine when he improves in all aspects of his game? He's going to be an outstanding player. Listen, he could fall off next season. He might not do the same thing as he's doing right now next season. You don't know. We don't know. We have to wait and see. Please get busy in the chat section as well. I appreciate that. And then we move to Julian Alvarez, like I said earlier, 8 goals in 27 games. He comes off the bench. If a striker like that's coming off the bench, it shows how much of a force Manchester City is. Let's be honest, people. Let's be honest here. Like you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself. Yeah. So Man City is Man City. You can't push them aside for what they have. They've worked hard to where they got. Like I said, they've been the yo-yo club of the Premier League for years and years, man. I remember George Kinkladze back in the day. I remember Uwe Rosler. I remember Steve McMahon. We saw them Steve McMahon and he plays for them. So they, 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 they deserve all the credit they're getting. You can't discredit them anymore, man. Come on, you can't. If we was in that situation as a club, a Liverpool Football Club, in the dumps of the league, like going up and down, yo-yoing around the first division, second division, Premier League, and all that stuff, And then we've got the riches after that. Would we complain? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. We wouldn't. Although, like, it's a bit of a boost, like compared to Liverpool and all that stuff, like and Man United who and Arsenal who like worked 100 years over 100 years to get to where they are, and these teams only takes them 5 to 10 years to get to the top. It's crazy. You look at Newcastle, like they were fighting relegation last season, inject a bit of money, you're fighting for top four next season. There you go. It's crazy. It's crazy. Please get busy in the chat, man. I appreciate that immensely. I hope you're enjoying this as well. I'm gonna bring a lot of stuff like this in the future. I want to do like get guests on from different teams so we could talk about their teams as well. So yeah, I'm working hard on that, people. So just bear with me, man. I'm gonna take a break after this week. I'm not gonna be doing any watch-alongs or anything like that after this week. I'm gonna be going on holiday, but when I come back, I'll do some more stuff. I'll just do a fast track. Keep going. Um, where are we? I don't even know where we are. Oh, John Conway. Yeah, thank you, Irmina. Good, thank you. Irmina says, the wife says, Fozzie, I hope you're going to talk about Everton who are getting relegated. Nah, that's another show. Another show. Another show. I got to save the bottom of the half for another show. Fozzie, did you watch West Ham versus Man United last night? 100%, bro. I watched it 100%. I was at work doing my night shift. Like I said to people, I work 12 hours a day. 7 days a week. It's not easy do this. That's why I took a year out. I had to find a way to find a common ground, how to work this and work at the same time. I finally done it. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Yeah, I watched the Everton game. I watched the Everton game. It was very sorry. I watched the Man United game versus West Ham. It was amazing. It was amazing. The way that the league is just transformed now. Liverpool are almost in top four. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about Arsenal now. Hopefully, you'll be back joining me tomorrow. I'll be doing another show. Hopefully, the bottom of the top two. That's what I want to do. Although I said top five and all that stuff, but I want to do each day something else just to make this channel just to keep the channel going instead of like doing too many stuff at once, throwing at your face, and then there's nothing to do after that, and then I'm going to be taking a few days off. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah. So let's talk LFC is going to happen this sometime this week. I'm going to bring some guests on so we could talk about it as well. Yeah, so Arsenal, you can see Aaron Ramsdale's been outstanding this season. I can't really say anything other than that because I had my doubts against him. Like he plays for Bournemouth, got relegated. He plays for Sheffield United, got relegated, and all of a sudden, like he's top of the league with Arsenal. It's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of people said they always knew that he had the talent. It's just getting it together. I think Arsenal, he's got it together. What I like about Aaron Ramsdale is his footballing ability as well as his goalkeeping. Like he can do those spectacular saves, but he could actually, pass the ball from the back as well. So he's got all-round kind of performances in his game, and I really, really enjoy watching him now. Sometimes the English tax can weigh heavily because we're all from England. Let's just be honest here. We're not the most glamorous players. We're not the most glamorous teams like in the past. If you're English, they talk about you in a lower kind of way instead of like putting you up there. And this kid, man, is nothing but amazing. Aaron Ramsdale. I really enjoy watching him. 35 games, 13 clean sheets. Come on, people. Like you got to give him the credit he deserves. And you got Matt Turner as his deputy, and then you got Carl Hien, Estonian. It's not even international, but Estonian player as the third goalkeeper as well. So it shows they building as time goes on as well. But yeah, Aaron Ramsdale, amazing, amazing man. 35 games, 13 clean sheets, not bad at all, not bad at all. Then you move on to the defense. James Hilson, I don't know who that is. I've never seen him. Well, it shows there's no games of it. But you look at Kieran Tierney, you look at Ben White. Kieran Tierney, uh, I've had arguments with a lot of people. They tell me about him as being better than Robertson at Liverpool because they're both Scottish internationals. But I've seen nothing. I rate him as a player, but I've seen nothing that convinces me he's better than Robertson. I spoke to a few Scottish people. They say Robertson's a million times better. I like Kieran Tierney, but if you're not even in the first team, how can you be better than a guy who's established first team player and won everything in the world of club football? Think about that. Think about when you say things like that. He's a great young prospect. He has the pace, he has the power, he has the crossing ability, but there's a reason he doesn't start every game and and someone else starts ahead of him. Yeah, you got to look into things like that. There's a reason. If you're a first team player and you're a regular, you should be in the first team on a consistent basis, right? And if you're one of the best left backs in Europe or whatever they said to me, he should be playing on a consistent basis, right? And he's not doing that at the moment. Ben White is playing as a right back. They bought him as a centre back. He plays for Leeds as a right back, as I remember when they were coming up from the Championship as well. So um, I like him. I really like him. But is this it now for him? Is he just going to be a right back and that is it? There's nothing else. I mean, there's 35 appearances. How many times did he play as a centre back? We'll have to figure out those kind of stuff. He played in the team with 8 clean sheets. It's not bad. 2 goals he's got this season as well in the Premier League. But listen, he's playing a different position that he's used to, and he's doing a good job in my opinion. You wouldn't be top of the league if you're doing a bad job. And then and then you look at Gabriel. What a player! What a player! Although he makes a lot of mistakes, but he's outstanding. He's absolutely outstanding in his centre back position as well. I'm really impressed with him this season. I thought like he started off slow. Now he's coming to his own, and now he's becoming that kind of player that's talked about on a regular basis around the Premier League and Europe. I mean, he's going to be obviously he's going to play for Brazil in the coming future. He's going to be a force, I think, as well. What I like about him, he's not only left-footed. He's actually, uh, physically, he's toned. He's physically he's good. His physical attributes and the way he leads that back line is amazing. It's amazing in my opinion. Rob Holding, nah, not for me. Um, I don't blame him for the Arsenal's bad form, but it's just not for me. I don't rate him that much, really. Tomiyasu hasn't played enough. Although it says 21 games, I think majority of them is substitute. Not for me, not for me. But Ben White is playing in that position now, and then you got Saliba, William Saliba. People don't know this, like William Saliba was about to be loaned out again this season. He keeps getting loaned out for some reason, and I don't even know why. If you see this kid, like it just reminds you of Van Dijk, but a younger version, and it shows when he's not playing how much he's missed in that team. Saliba, I don't know how other teams have missed out on him. What a player! What a player! He's got pace, power, aerial ability, score goals, and he can command that centre back position as well. You can see like Arsenal without him in that centre back position, it's not the same team. He's amazing. He's amazing. I'm just gutted like we didn't go for him. Arsenal and that French connection in the past, Arsene Wenger and all that stuff. They know what they're doing, innit? They know what they're doing. And then you got Jacob. I can't say his surname, so I just call him Jacob, obviously, for his first name. He's coming recently for Robert Holding, and 2 games, I think, 2 games, and they've won 2 games. Yeah, I think that's what's happening with him. He's all right. I think he's a left-footed player playing as a right-sided centre back, but he's all right so far. But when people find you out eventually, are you going to play the same way? I don't know. I don't know. But Jacobs done well, especially yesterday against Newcastle. The way he played, oh, outstanding, outstanding. And then you got Thomas Partey in that midfield. Yes, his form is decreasing. I agree, but you forget the influence he had before that, decreasing form. So uh, you're always gonna need a central midfielder that's dominant, that's aggressive, that's a guy who puts everything for the team first. That's what he does. That's what I like about him. And if you haven't got that midfield destroyer like that, you're not going to compete. Look at every team in the Premier League or in Europe. When they have that midfield destroyer, they win titles. They might not be the most attractive to watch, but they influence the team some way somehow. Saka, one of the players of the season is in my opinion, but I think he's been like decreasing recently. He should have scored yesterday against Newcastle. He was through on goal, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, hit it straight at his shoulder. It shouldn't be like that. Finesse, bottom corner, hit the side netting. That's what it's all about. I think he's got flat feet. Once he gets that together, I think he'll be all right. Because when I look at him when he's with his left foot, I don't even know he's originally left footed. I don't think he's originally left footed. I think he's right footed. That's trying to transition into left foot. From what I can see when I'm watching him at my coaching background. He's got flat feet. He's too stiff. You know what I mean? When he's running with the ball, he's very stiff, Saka. He hasn't got that smoothness like John Barnes, Ryan Giggs. You know what I mean? That kind of smoothness like they had. If he has that eventually, I think he's going to be an outstanding player. That's another thing that angers me about Saka that I always talk about is when someone clatters into him, he's always rolling around like he's injured. Just get up, boy. Be tough. Don't let them like get into you that way and make you look weak. Once opponents make you look weak, you get frightened and you don't do the tricks that you want to do. So make sure you get up straight away, man. He's always on the floor for far too long, in my opinion, Saka. That's what angers me more than anything about him. And then we move on to Martin Odegaard. I thought it was brilliant this season. I can't believe other teams in Europe have a goal for him, and he's got the captain's armband on top of that. That's a like a quick jump for a player that's only been bought this season. He was on loan last season, and he's already got the captain's armband. What a player! What a player! He's a captain of Norway as well, ahead of Haaland. It shows like what he's done. Like, look, 34 games, 15 goals, 7 assists. That's a number 10 at his best in most countries, let alone in England. Zidane's and all that stuff. You could put them up there like, with these performances. You know what I mean? So yeah, he has transformed Arsenal. He has transformed Arsenal. I think his influence in the team is amazing because if in order for you to get that captaincy, you must be doing something good off the pitch as well as on the pitch. And yeah, I love him. I love him. I wish we had him, but football doesn't work out that way sometimes. Smith Rowe, he will progress. Yes, he's got the number 10 shirt, but I think in time he will come to his own and be starting for that team on a regular basis. He scored nothing this season, obviously only 1 assist. Mohamed Elneny, um, good squad player at most, maybe. That's it. That's all I give him. I don't give him anything else. Xhaka. I've always said about Xhaka. If you see me in previous like years on YouTube when we was talking about the Arsenal, I've always said about Xhaka. He's a great player. He's just got a bad team around him. Now he's got a good team around him. You can see the difference. I can see that from distance, man. I saw that from distance years ago. Uh, that's why you can't prejudge players when they have bad players around them because that's what they become as well. You know what I mean? They could not perform them, but it doesn't mean anything because they lose games, if you know what I mean. So that actually, you know, that escapes the actual reality, if you know what I mean, of the performances of like the likes of Xhaka in previous seasons when he had a bad team around him. Although that he had a bad team around him, he still played good, in my opinion. Yes, I like he's aggressive a lot, but he's that's part of his game, and you need that in a team as well. Fabio Vieira done nothing this season, just a pedestrian on the pitch, weak, and need more out of him. He needs to like work on his physical ability, like he's very thin. He's a very thin player. He hasn't got like if you look at him, you won't be scared. You just go through him and get whatever you want on the pitch. It shouldn't be like that. You should have that fear factor as well as the ability with it as well. And he hasn't got none of those at the moment. But next season he could become a better player. You know what I mean? This first season could be the season like to get him in the team, let him get used to how Arsenal play, and then next season he moves up. If you know what I mean. Same as Calvin Ramsey. Same as Calvin Ramsey for Man City. Zinchenko transformed Arsenal, man. He's playing that inverted left back position. He scored one, obviously, and assisted two, 27 appearances. What I like about him is his winning mentality. He come with that winning mentality from Man City to here, and he's trying to like force it into these players. But like I've said before, why is Man City selling players that's important to them to their rivals if what I mean, if they're that good? I don't know. I don't know. It's a suspicious kind of thing, isn't it? Don't know none of these players. None of them have played, so I can't say nothing about them. This guy yesterday was outstanding for Arsenal. I thought he was brilliant. The way he led that team through that midfield, especially when Thomas Partey is not there. He showed pure leadership yesterday against Newcastle. He dominated that midfield. He pulled the players around to areas that needed plucking. Like if there's holes left in the midfield, come over here. Stay over here, so we could defend together and make sure there's a wall there. Newcastle can't come through. That's what he done. He done that yesterday, and he was outstanding. We have a go at Jorginho at Chelsea with his slow movements and all that stuff. But I've always said that if you're not a part of a successful team, the deficiency of your game will show clear to the world, and that's what's happened to him at Chelsea. Yeah, obviously Eddie Nketiah didn't play. Martinelli, he needs to improve a lot in my opinion. Although he's got 15 goals a season, his finishing ability is not good enough for a striker, especially. They tell me he's a striker. A striker is clinical in front of goal. They always hit the side netting. They always have the ball in a place the goalkeeper can't get into. So what I've seen of him recently is he hits the goalkeeper for too many of his shots. He needs to like find that corners, man. Like Robbie Fowler, finesse straight in the bottom corner. That's what he needs to do. Listen, 15 goals. in 35 appearances and 55 assists. It's not bad. It's not bad. Gabriel Jesus, one of the best players I think at Arsenal this season. Obviously, he's transformed them. What I like about him is his hard work. You know, what I mean, I've said that. Why did Liverpool go for him? Maybe we could have done something different if we got him in the team. He's transformed them people. Like he's a brilliant player. He's a typical Liverpool player, hard working for the team, sacrifice his game for the team. 10 goals in 23 appearances. What more impressive? Look at that. 10 goals in 23 appearances, and he's been at for the majority of the season. That's not bad at all. 5 assists as well. So basically, this guy does everything and more from what I can see of his stats. 10 goals in 23 games. I thought, like, that's crazy when I just looked at that. I had to look twice. I said, what? But there you go, Jesus. But the difference between the teams, um, Nielsen hasn't done much. He obviously come on as a sub recently and all that stuff, but I need more from him to convince me he's going to be a first team player in the future as well. Forget getting loaned out every season. It shouldn't happen like that. Yeah. So you got Trossard as well. They bought from Brighton. 17 appearances, 1 goal, 8 assists. They still haven't found the position for him. I think there's two of them there. They still haven't found the right position for him. Is he going to be a striker? Or is he going to be a winger? They don't know yet. I mean, they keep interchanging him with Jesus and Martinelli. They need to find a position for him next season so he could become a regular fixture in the team as well. Because he's a first team player. He's not actual like. He shouldn't be a squad player. Nah, with his ability, nah. So that's what I got for you for both teams. Let's get back to the league. Um, I don't. The difference between the two teams, like I said, Man City have got about two teams that can compete for the top four. One team can compete for the top four, and one team can compete for the title. That's how good Man City is. How is this league going to finish? Obviously, Man City is going to win it. Let's just be honest. They're 1 point ahead with a game in hand as well. Goal difference, they're just blowing everyone out of the water. Um, I really like the way Arsenal have played this season, but there's still a lot of work to go for them to get to that top position. And what they need to do next season is buy the right players that's going to back up the first teamers as well, or they're going to be into the first team. Once they sort that out next season, Arsenal, I think they're going to be a force in the Premier League. It's a learning curve, isn't it? It's one thing like moving from fifth to the top, innit? That's a big leap. They should be like gradually moving up, but they've done an outstanding job this season. It's just the squad that's let them down. If they had the right squad for the season, I think they would have been all right. And those games they drew like Southampton, Liverpool, when they're leading in those games as well. Maybe it will be a different result next season if they had the right personnel around the team. Yeah, there's a lot of work for them to do, but they've done a good job. They've done a good job. I'll be back tomorrow, people, doing obviously below that. I'll do the Liverpool, Manchester United, and Newcastle next one. So tune in, same time, 2:30. Then I'm gonna do one more before I go on holiday, which is Let's Talk LFC. I'll bring the guys and boys and girls, whatever comes on. I'm sorry, I don't want to say that. I'll bring all the crew around, and then we could just talk about Liverpool in general. Yeah, so that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this, people. Like, I don't want to keep talking about Liverpool every single time. It gets boring. And let's talk about other teams and what we need to improve on next season for us to catch them up as well. So we could do things like that. And the Premier League show. This is my third episode, so I hope you enjoyed it, and we could discuss things in the future as well. So let me get back to the comments, and I'm going. I need to get ready for work, if you know what I mean. The wife needs me to, so I gotta go. Um, Redbird says hi. Oh man, I haven't seen you for a while, Redbird man. Where have you been, bro? I was worried about you. Worried, mate. Worried. Ryan, we're gonna have to do Let's Talk LFC Ryan soon, bro. So get ready, bro. Get ready. Hopefully you'll be available. Hopefully football ain't gonna interrupt us again. I'm joking. I'm joking. So good, so good. Smashing it, Fozzy. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Big up, Redbird. I love this. I love this. All these people together in one community. Like I said, I'm not new to this. I've been doing it for a while. So please, yeah, share the channel around. Let's do this more often, and let's enjoy it together at the same time as well. My screen is messing up. I don't know why it's not happening like this. Big up K. Thanks for coming on, man. Listen, whenever Jamie's one or ends one, we have a laugh on the chat. So we'll get back on that soon. We'll get back on that soon. Great stream, John Conway. Thank you, brother. Listen, I do it for people like you guys. You know what I mean? I don't need compliments. it's good to have it, but I'll do it for you guys. I always come back for you guys, man. Big up LVFCTV. We're gonna bring you on soon, bro. I told you, check your DMs, man, on Twitter. I did message you back, bro. Please, please check your DMs. Big up Baz. Yes, yes, Baz. Big up John. Yeah, yeah. So you can see, I've went through that depth of Manchester City and Arsenal, like what needs to be done for Arsenal to win the league in the future, and what Man City are doing at the moment. Man City is for the finished article. Let's be honest here. Like they don't need anything anymore. I mean, they've got the homegrown, they've got everything that they need to push forward in the future as well. If you look at the age range now, it's come down. They've got rid of a lot of players that's hitting 30. They even got money for them. That's impressive in my opinion. I mean, when you're at the top, everybody wants your players. Let's be honest here, and that's what's happened to them. That's why Liverpool can't sell players, because their players are in the decline and they're going for free at the end of the season, which is not right. Which is not right. Um, yeah, I've enjoyed this, people. Honestly, I've enjoyed this. Like, I hope you like my analyst side of football. I don't really do that much. Like I said, it's very difficult for me to watch every game, especially the work I do. But I try my best at the end of the day to bring you the best content that's available. And like all these screens I do, it's not as easy as it looks. I have to do it in a certain way to make it stand out, if you know what I mean, to make it stand out. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be talking about Manchester United, Newcastle, Manchester United, Liverpool, and then below that I think it's Brighton, who have got a couple of games in hand. So those four teams I'll be talking about tomorrow, and then the next one I'll talk about below that, what's going to happen and all that. So I'll just go down the league all the way to the bottom, and then we could talk about it as well. If there's other teams watching this from the Premier League, please tune in to the Premier League show. I'll be doing it on a consistent basis now. I might do it in a different channel in the future, but I'll just do it here for now, and then we'll move on to the other channel in the future, which is going to be all the teams. It's UF Talk, so please go and subscribe to that channel. It's quite good. It's going to be good. It was good before we left it, but now I'm going to try to bring more people that can help us run it as well. Yeah. So yeah, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you. You know what I mean. I'll see you. I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. I'm not taking the piss, by the way.